Hi y'all, InMyShoes, Wheels Optional here. Bit of an update for everyone.
This is In My Shoes, Wheels Optional. The world from a different perspective. Supporting and educating the world, busting the stigmas of disability and invisible illnesses.
Good evening y'all. I'm very, very sick. So I apologise if my voice sounds funny and, I have struggling with words because I've got a lot of pain fog and stuff going on. So today was a good day. Been waiting a couple months now, but my immunologist is working very hard to figure out what the hell is going on, not only with my nerves, but also what autoimmune disease I have, because the test results keep saying there's one there, but they don't know exactly which one. Today I had a nerve conduction test down at Green Slopes. The lady there was really, really good and really nice, and she took everything I said seriously, and she listened to me, and she said, what's been going on? Has anyone else done this test? And I thought I had a nerve conduction test years ago at the PA. Turns out what they did was very wrong. It wasn't even really a nerve conduction test, because she explained to me the needle into the muscle doesn't actually test the nerves, it tests the nerve and the muscle, and on its own it's very useless. So the test they did was useless because they didn't have the proper nerve conduction test, which is little tiny electrode pads that go on. They go along your leg, and then they put an electric current through it, and it makes the nerve fire. A lot of them I couldn't feel much in it, but the ones that I did feel, really odd sensation, because it's not your muscle that's moving, it's like the nerve. So it's really odd feeling. It's kind of like nerve pain, actually, but not painful. So she was really good, and she listened, and she kind of had that look of, why has no one looked into this? And I had to explain, all my doctors are pushing for neurologists to see me. But the issue is that neurologists go, oh, you're too young, there's nothing wrong. Even though all my other doctors are going, oh my God, she has nerve issues. Just do tests. Because all they do is blood tests. That's it. Like, supposedly you can tell neurological shit through blood tests, which you can't do for everything. And it could be that I have an autoimmune disease that's actually caused the nerve damage, which I didn't know was a thing. But supposedly autoimmune diseases, some of them, if they're left without treatment and in quite severe flare-up, I think it's called, they can actually cause nerve damage. So that would explain a lot. It would also explain why my B12 has been very low for a very long time. Because I used to have to get injections for the B12 to teach my body to bring it up, which is also related to your nerves. If you have really low B12 for a long time too, that can create nerve damage and nerve issues. But I think it was more a signal that something was going on, which could be true. I'm all just hypothesizing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Even though I have done nurse study, I never completed the study either. But I hope one day to do my doctor's degree, which is a bit of a random fact about me. I hope to go back and do it, and a lot of my friends have told me that I should. It's either that or my psychiatry or psychology degree, but I've got to get well first. Well, not well, because I'll never be well, but how well I can get. That's what I mean by well. Like, I want to get back to that. I want to stop being stuck in bed like this and having these flare-ups all the time, and it's just ridiculous. So she explained that the needle test that they did in one single spot for like 2 seconds was not going to show anything, which I kind of thought at the time. I apologise, my pots is acting up now, because I had to go outside for a minute. Oh, I hate this disease. So yeah, she explained that it was kind of useless on its own, and they should have really done the little electrodes and connected them to the cable and then done the current through them, and that should have been what they did, which they didn't. They just did a single needle in one leg in one spot. didn't even test the nerve like she did to see where it was. Well, at the beginning of the test, actually, she said to me that, oh, I think I'm losing my voice, sorry. She said to me that she was only going to do the little electrode pads and the current. That's all she was going to do. And then it turned out, when that was done, well, more halfway through, she started acting really intense and not talking anymore. Like at the beginning, she was talking, and then she stopped kind of chatting about my symptoms to learn more. And she was really intently focusing on the computer, or I'm not sure what it's called, but for the electrodes computer thing that reads all the nerve conduction stuff. She started focusing really intently on that. Before that, the electrodes had been very quick, like she'd done the test very quickly. And then on my left, or my right, anyway, when she moved to the other leg, they kind of put them on your feet and your ankle, because they're trying to get the current all the way down to from your spine to the nerve at the bottom to see how that, and then they read that entire nerve, how it goes. She did one, and it was really quick, and then when she moved on to the second one, she did it for ages. I kept kind of feeling the conduction through it, and she was focusing really intently on the computer and started doing stuff and typing stuff and pressing buttons. So I'm really, really hoping that finally we have somewhere to go. She started focusing intently on that, and she did that for the next 2 or 3 and then continued on with the test. Then when it was over, she actually said, so how would you feel about another test where, you know, it's just a needle we stick into you, which is what the PA did for 2 seconds. And I thought that was really odd after that, and especially after she explained she wasn't going to do anything else. So I was like, hell yeah. If it's going to help find what's wrong, or it's going to, you know, help get some treatment, then go for it. I will take any pain or anything to do that, however much it costs. It wasn't anywhere near as painful as I remember at the PA. I remember screaming at the PA from the pain. Whether they did it wrong, or I'm not sure. So yeah, she did that up. I think she did it 4 places in my leg. And it was really odd. Like, it felt like the electrodes, but it's like this freaking long. So it goes, so it goes about 3/4 of the way through your leg to your muscle and through your muscle. I'm not sure exactly, but this is kind of how she explained it and how I took it, so that they can see how the nerve is setting off the muscle, or how the muscle is setting off the nerve, or she even said, like, if there's musculoskeletal or muscular disease, it helps find that as well. So, not quite sure what exactly it does, but hell yeah, I will go for it all. I want answers, I want to get better. But anyway, the nerve conduction test, then when she did the needles, it hurt a little, like the needle going in obviously kind of hurt. But then it felt really odd when the electrode, the pulse was going through it. Like, it's a continuous pulse, it's not like boom, boom, boom. It's more like, and it feels really odd because your muscle starts almost clenching. And then the worst thing is they tell you to pull your leg up, pull your foot back and all that while you've got a needle inside your muscle. So it more feels weird than painful. Like, it is painful, but it's kind of meh. It's not even as bad as a bee sting. It's more your muscle is contracting, and at the same time you're trying to pull away from that and like make it go a different way almost, it feels like. So it's really odd. So I had that done today. That was $270. But I think I get $200 back or something. So that's amazing. Like, right now, just sick of paying medical bills that are so expensive, especially for tests that should have been done a long time ago. I get the test results back in about a week, and then I'm going to see my immunologist, and we're going to see what they say. So yeah. My immunologist has been amazing by doing all these investigative things that should have been done like 10 years ago, instead of being brushed off as, oh, it's not serious. Shouldn't have taken to this point, but yeah, he's been lovely, because I kind of broke down and just let him into everything that I've been stuffed around, because he asked about the wheelchair, and he's like, oh, why are you in a wheelchair? And I just broke down and said, I don't know. I really don't. Every year it's a new, oh, it could be this, it could be that, which makes me seem like I don't know, which I don't. And you believe doctors, you really do, and you go, oh, this doctor's told me it's this, and then the next doctor's like, no, that's wrong, it's this, so then you start calling it that, and it just looks wrong to people, and I know that, and I hate that people read it negatively. But it's someone who is struggling with their body and their life, because this has destroyed my life, and it's, excuse me. And people forget that once you have an illness or your body starts falling apart, which is what it feels like, it really does, your life starts to follow it too. I used to work full-time before all this, and I was living on my own and everything. And, you know, I didn't need a carer, whereas now I need a carer 24/7 just to help me live a normal life, which I don't. Normal for me, just managing showering every day and feeding myself every day. If I didn't have a carer, what most people take for granted, I wouldn't be able to do on my own. Like, I can, but that would be all I would do, which is kind of like all I do now, but at least I can do this every once in a while. Not that I've had the energy to edit and upload them, but I have some energy to do some things that I need to do for me, or that I want to do for me, because I have some support, but not like a proper carer, because it's just my mum. You know, I didn't want to move back home. Who wants to do that? Who wants their life to fall apart and have to do that? Just because their medical bills are so expensive. No one wants to spend all their money on medical shit. I want an answer, and I want to get better, and I want to get my health, like some of my health back. And even if I don't get it back, I want to know so I can slow it down or manage it or something. You don't understand how desperate it gets. Just wanting to know. And it comes off really bad. But imagine going from dancing and running around to suddenly leg collapsing, and then only a few years later in a wheelchair. And wheelchairs suck. Like, no one wants to be in a wheelchair, trust me. I accept that I'm in a wheelchair, and I accept it's a part of me, and that was so freaking hard to do, but I did it. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that. And I'm so proud of others that can do that as well. Because it's not a medical tool. It's a part of our life so that we can have a life. If I can have it, I want my legs back. I really do. Like, if I can get my legs back, I'll do anything to do that. Because you don't want this. No one wants this. I'm sorry. It's even after, 2-3 years in a wheelchair, it still affects me. And I'm in the wheelchair 80% of the time, so I can waddle to the toilet and back. But even some days it's hard to do that. Or I can collapse on the way and need assistance or my chair. If I can get it better, I'll do anything at this point. I just want, as hard as it is to accept that they might not come back, I want them back. Like, I don't want to be like this. No one does. Everyone I know doesn't. And I know a lot of people with chronic illnesses. You don't want this shit. Like, it destroys you emotionally, physically, and it destroys your life. And it's just cruel as fuck. I've said I won't even have kids. If I could, I can't, because the endo, and it's a risk to my health. And I've been told I can't because of health risks. But if I could, I would choose not to, because I would never, ever put any of this on someone. I couldn't live with myself if I did that, if I passed it on to someone, especially my own child. It's just so cruel. That's just a bit of an update on that. and I'll see how I go with uploading this. This probably won't be uploaded for God knows how long. I will catch you all later. This has been In My Shoes, Wheels Optional. Keep smiling, y'all.